your dad show. Ooh, JJ and Deacon, they're the ones in the know. Subscribe quick, the Squid Monster's on the way. Inspire with us, tomorrow's news today.
All right, folks. Hannah Gutierrez Reed has been found guilty of manslaughter. I wonder what that means for Alec Baldwin coming up this summer. Also, Charles Barkley thinks you're a freaking idiot if you're a black man wearing a T-shirt. So we're going to talk about that and more, especially AI news. We got some AI news. We got some leftover stories from yesterday that I didn't get to. I owe Deacon an apology because I got so excited about.
No, you don't.
I got so excited about the Super Tuesday results that we just blew out the doors yesterday. The show was so great. If you haven't already, you should go back and watch that.
The show was good because we had a plan and we had something unexpected happen, and we brought in that. It was fun, and we had to move stuff out that we normally do, which is no skin off my back. It's not a big deal. I've had to do that for 30. That's something you do in radio. You plan for tomorrow, and when something happens, you have to move things out of the way. And just so that's what we're doing today. It's kind of stuff that we had.
I just feel a little guilty because I know that your co-host is a little flaky and will just change things on the fly.
No, that is the process of being a co-host. You're not a host, you're a co-host. Right. And sometimes your co-host is like, and will grab the wheel and jerk the freaking rig off the road.
I have an idea. Let's go.
Yeah, so that is completely fine. Yeah. I have worked with a co-host in morning radio for like 25 years. I worked, no, not that long. Probably 20 years. I worked with several different co-hosts. Only one out of the 1 out of the 4 different co-hosts that I've worked with over the years, only one that I got along with perfectly, like me and you. They were like my big brother.
Really?
He was like 15 years older. He was like my big brother. It was great. All the other ones was like a freaking terrible marriage that you got to spend with for somebody 5 hours a day. So I appreciate you. I'm serious. I worked with a guy. We had a number 1 morning show, but I worked with a guy for about 10 years that I could not stand outside of work.
It's got to be rough to be.
It was so hard, dude. It was so hard because you turn on the microphone and you got to be like, you're my best friend. And then you turn off the microphone. You're like, all right, thanks, dude. It was hard.
And you have to be entertaining. You have to go be entertaining with somebody and
that you don't like. Somebody that you don't like.
I mean, it's not like you got shot by him, but it's pretty bad. So Hannah Gutierrez Reed has been found. Hannah Gutierrez Reed has been found guilty in the death of Helena Hutchins. This story came out, I think, yesterday. Now she's not the one that put the bullet through her, but this woman bears some responsibility. And Brian was talking to me earlier this morning about it. Brian was like, I don't like this. And I was like, well, so we're going to go through the story and refresh everybody on this and wonder to ourselves what this may mean for the Alec Baldwin trial coming up soon. Hannah, the Rust Armorer, has been found guilty of Helena Hutchins' death. A movie set handler who loaded a gun for actor Alec Baldwin before it fired and killed the cinematographer has been found guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
Notice that little wordplay there, JJ.
Yeah, it's missing. It seems like that it's missing before it fired. The gun. Yeah, inanimate objects do not have volition and will. They're not able to.
Before fired. That's the wrong. We seem to have a problem in this country with pronoun usage over the past 5-10 years. Are we not teaching that shit in school anymore? Pronouns are pretty easy.
They were just handing out those degrees in English and literature forever.
Yes.
And I guess, I don't know.
People forgot what pronouns are. So yes, get fired. Unless it's one of JJ's flesh-eating AI robot automatons.
Perhaps, yeah. or maybe maybe the pistol
Alec
was
Baldwin
enchanted.
Fired the gun.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin. The 26-year-old faces 18 months in jail. She will be sentenced later. Mr. Baldwin, Mr. Alec Baldwin, legendary actor, The Shadow.
Like some of the stuff that Alec Baldwin's in. He may be a personal piece of shit. Well, a lot of them are personal pieces of crap. But I mean, I'm entertained by his clown, like demeanor.
I would just be less pissed off at Alec Baldwin. Like, he is a radical leftist lunatic fuckface, but I would be less pissed off with him if he had been just honest and been like, I fucked up.
No one has accountability and personal responsibility in our country anymore, especially the people that are in charge and on movies and in our face all the time. These people have displayed for 20 years, 30 years that they have no personal accountability and responsibility. They blame it on somebody else. So what does a society see? Well, they blamed it on somebody else. So now every single person you get, that's why you can't have a conversation with someone anymore, because I will say, JJ, I didn't like the way that you moved your microphone arm earlier. And you're going to be like, well, you or it or they, or you're going to blame it on anything and anybody else.
Deflect and minimize.
But you're going to deflect it to anything. Just notice how much it happens during the day anymore. To everybody does it.
I want to say this too. Alec Baldwin, like all Americans, is deserving of a defense. He should have he should have a legal defense, but he didn't have to go on an interview and say, it wasn't my fault. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. He didn't have to go out there and fucking lie to us all. He could have just kept his mouth shut and done his work as, his legal defense, but he lied to us. He was irresponsible. He got a woman killed, and he's being dishonest about it. This is not the
first time something like this has happened on movie set. We just talked about this last week with that new Crow that they're putting out. We talked about when Brandon Lee got killed. That was a big thing, man. When something came out of that gun, they were filming a scene. He got shot. They didn't know that he had gotten shot, and nothing came of that, because I'm pretty sure at the time it was in the 90s and it was a completely different world that we lived in. But I'm sure dude was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure it was an extra or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but it was
he might have gotten in trouble. He might not. I don't know what happened out of that. But
I think I've been reading in this case that this shooting and this death at Hollywood, this discharge, and this is the first time it's happened in 30 years. I never put it together that when they're talking about this and this incident, this type of thing hadn't happened in 30 years. The last time it happened was Brandon Lee. Oh my God!
Last time it happened.
Alec Baldwin is dumping all over
Brandon Lee died in 1993, March the 31st, 1993. It was that freaking long ago.
Holy crap. Man, I remember it like it was yesterday.
I remember it like it was yesterday too. On March 31st, 1993, Lee was filming a scene for the film The Crow in which his character is shot by and killed by thugs. I remember the scene. The scene's at the end. It's near the end of the movie. In the scene, Lee's character walks into his apartment, discovers his fiancée. Oh no. Yeah, well, they filmed it. Okay, yeah. And a thug played by actor Michael Massey fires a Smith & Wesson Model 629 44 Magnum revolver at Lee's character as he walks into the room. In a film shoot prior to the fatal scene, the gun that was used as a prop, a real revolver, was loaded with improperly made dummy rounds, improvised from live cartridges that had powder charges removed by the special effects crew. So in close-ups, the revolver would show normal-looking ammunition. However, the crew neglected to remove the primers from the cartridge. At some point, the primers, if y'all don't know, is little plastic pieces. Although there were no powder charges, the energy from the ignited primer was enough to separate the bullet from the casing and push it partway into the gun barrel, where it got stuck like a squib load. Now, during the fatal scene, which called for the revolver to be fired at Lee from a distance of about 12 to 15 feet, the dummy cartridges were replaced with blank rounds, which contained a powder charge. But the primer was already stuck in the barrel.
No, the bullet, the fake bullet was stuck in the barrel. And then they put a real black powder round,
powder charge that's blank
behind it.
and it created enough force to push that to clear the barrel.
I thought it was shrapnel that
I did too. It honestly at first
it was actually a real bullet head. A bullet itself was lodged in the barrel, and then
the gun was not properly checked and cleared before the blank was fired, and the dummy bullet previously lodged in the barrel was propelled forward by the blanks.
Okay, wow. Okay, that was the Brandon Lee. That was the Brandon Lee death.
And you can read all about that. I'm reading it straight off Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And then they're saying there's a book. That's talking about that. Oh, okay. So I like stuff like that. I mean, that Brandon Lee thing was a big thing for us because we grew up. We're the era that grew up with Bruce Lee as we were little. You know, when we were little, we had this freaking karate master named Bruce Lee. And then we have his son, Brandon Lee, when we're about Brandon Lee's age, you know, and we're like, oh, this is cool. So it was a big impact on people our age.
Was there an involuntary manslaughter charge in the Brandon Lee case?
In that article, I'm sure we could probably look for it.
Okay. So back to the Helena Hutchins death. Hannah Gutierrez. Okay, so this is the conversation I was having with Brian this morning. Brian didn't like this verdict. But I said, let me find his quote he said to me.
Massey, the actor that fired the bullet, did not face any criminal charges. Lee's mother did successfully sue filmmakers for an undisclosed amount.
Oh, really? Okay, so there were like,
you killed my son during the making of the film.
Yeah, like a civil thing. Yeah,
that's all that was.
I don't know where I had that channel. It was on my phone. Okay, so Brian was saying he thought that she was being punished for what Alec Baldwin did. And I said, well, look, okay, and when I say she, this is Helena Hutchins, the victim. This woman here is Hannah Gutierrez Reed. I don't really have any animosity towards this woman. She was a part-time armorer.
It's in supporters chat.
Oh, it was in supporters chat. She was a part-time armorer. Okay, but that's not an excuse. She is responsible for the weapons on set. And there's no way, I don't believe that there's any way that she did not know that the cast or the crew working on the set, that she did not know that they were taking the prop guns out to the range and just playing with them at lunchtime. That's what they were doing. Or on off days. They were taking
she did know that Alec Baldwin or whoever else is taking these guns out here. We just established she was a part-time.
Yeah,
she's not the real one. So is she going to have the balls to stand up to these people that she's got a part-time job? Are you going to go up to your part-time worker? Are you going to go up to your boss and be like, hey, you ain't supposed to do that? But a lot of people don't do that. I had to tell my general manager to get out of my studio one morning because he was the head top guy of the 9 radio stations who comes in and walks in the studio and starts talking to me and he won't leave. And I was like, look, sir, you hired me for a job and you are in here impeding my ability to do this job. I'm going to have to ask you to leave and I'll talk to you when my shift is over after 10 a.m. And he just smiled at me and walked out the door. I'm like, dude, you hired me to do a job, so get out. If you're just in here hanging out, get out. I got stuff to do. And she's not going to do that to somebody, to Hollywood people.
That's very possible. But when you're an armorer on a movie set and there's real weapons, you can call them prop guns, but they're real. That's a real weapon that really fires bullets. It's a really dangerous situation, and you have to put that above any of your. If you can't do that, you don't need
and agree.
You don't need that job. So
yeah, I agree, but what I'm trying to say is there is a possibility that she was like, hey, you guys don't need to do that. And they're like, check your part-time. You can be out of here. All I got to do is wave my hand. We're going to do what we want to. This is my damn movie. You know, do you know who I am? You know, and then what is her response to that? Oh my God, I need this job. I better shut up, blah, blah, blah.
So prosecutors said that she failed to ensure the weapon was loaded only with dummy rounds. But not only that, they presented evidence that Gutierrez Reed had brought a box of live ammunition to the film set from her house. And they said these rounds slowly spread throughout the set over the course of 12 days. So like she's
okay. That
yeah.
that makes a
Now
difference.
let me ask you this.
But I agree with Brian. I'm okay with this, with her being sentenced only if Alec Baldwin is found guilty. If he's
I
not
mean,
found guilty,
I
she is
feel like
automatically a freaking scapegoat, man.
yeah, I feel like this is a precursor to that coming down. You
I
know,
do
like
too.
okay.
I
Let
don't
me
think he's going to be found guilty. I think he's going to get some lesser. I think he'll be found guilty on something way less.
right. Or they'll point and be like, it was her fault. The court
It
already
was
said it was her fault. It's
It
not
was
my
her
fault.
fault. He has something there. He'll get out of it.
Let me ask you this: as a male, as a man, right? As a man, think about this from like almost a primitive perspective. When you look at a woman like this that is being charged with some sort of a crime, or guilty of manslaughter or something like that, is there a, I'm not saying overriding, is there even a little bit of you that's like, well, that's a female, and there's a instinct among men to like excuse or minimize or protect women and try to make an excuse for her that maybe you wouldn't make for a man. If Hannah Gutierrez Reed was Henry Gutierrez Reed, would you even countenance the idea that maybe she isn't totally responsible? Do you know what I mean? Like, is there sort of an impulse that compels you
to use
slightly?
a lighter hand because she's a female?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Natural male impulse to use a lighter hand.
That's a question I'm asking.
Huh?
Because I don't know if I don't know if it's true for me or not. I really don't.
I don't know if it's true for me, but I can completely see the
a lighter hand. That's a good way to put it. What do you guys think in chat?
I can completely see, like, when you say that, I'm like, I have that. It's almost like an ingrained notion, an ingrained DNA, natural
I think we have an
feeling
impulse.
to, yes. I mean, because it's a male impulse. I was telling my son this just the other day, man. We were talking, and he's 15. He's a big 6'1", 6 foot. He's huge, good looking kid. And he's got this little girlfriend, and they've been together, and her mom's been real sick, and she was real sad. And he was like hugging her and holding her, and her, he was being the protector. And that's the conversation I had with him. I was like, son, males have this ingrained thing in our being to be protectors of especially children and females. We want to protect. That's maybe maybe it's not a male thing until you have kids. I don't know, but I feel like, and I can override it. I can be like, no, she's guilty. She deserves some sort of punishment. Rationally, but I think I have an impulse to turn it down just a notch, if you know what I mean. Let me know what you guys think. I don't know. Just introspectively consider for yourselves, guys. Would you, if Hannah Gutierrez Reed was Henry Gutierrez Reed, would you be, how would you have the same feeling about it? So she was negligent. She forgot to, she brought some ammunition, and eventually some of that ammunition found its way into the gun. And then, Alex Baldwin killed Helena Hutchins with it. I will not mince words. I believe he killed her. He killed her in point of fact. It wasn't, it went off. It happened. But I mean, that is a fact. He killed her. Yeah. Whether you want to put a negative connotation on the word kill when you automatically hear that word is up to you. And that's a you problem, not you. Right. But you know what I mean? Yeah. But those three words, he killed her, is a fact. That's a fact. Happened. That happened. Yeah. So
anyway, I don't know.
Like I said,
I don't think it's the last time we're gonna. I don't know if I'm sure Hannah Gutierrez Reed will come up again, especially in the context of like the Alec Baldwin trial itself. I don't know how many more times we will hear her name between now and then, but there are other cases of women that commit crimes
very many more times because she was a nobody in Hollywood. Yeah. She was nobody. That's just how that works. That's a different world than we live in. We want to think that that's the United States and they follow the same rules that we do. Right. No, it's not. All right. They don't follow. Rich people do not follow the same rules as poor people. They just do not. I have proof of that.
the idea for me that we would have, as you say, a lighter hand for females is something like I think it's like something we should be. I don't know. Here's another case in my mind. This separate, right? A separate case. How many times have you read stories where a woman loses her mind and drowns her kid in a bathtub or kills her own children? And for those women in those contexts, I have no pity. I have no mercy. None. But in this case, this is a woman that's doing a job that I honestly think a guy probably should have been doing. An armorer.
No, I don't care who. If
she's
qualified, she's qualified. I'm not going to DEI her ass, or if she's qualified, she's qualified.
She obviously wasn't qualified.
But she obviously was screwed up. I've hired a lot of people that I've thought, oh man, they're qualified to talk on the radio. And then when they get on the radio, I'm like, oh God, I've made a huge mistake. How am I going to do this freaking guy that sounds like Kermit the Frog on the freaking radio? Hey, Kermit the Frog here. And I'm like, oh my Jesus.
Now for your news and
weather. For your Lake Area forecast. God. I'm like, Jesus.
Turn my radio off and tear it out of my car and throw it out the window.
I know.
All right. That's enough of that story. We have a very important update, guys. If you haven't already, the window has closed for black, especially if you're out there, black men. The window has closed for you to get some of that Charles Barkley King cash. It's gone. I'm sorry. It's over.
We had a great plan yesterday. If you go back and watch
rescinded the offer.
Oh, we gave you an excellent chance to make a lot of money for our black male viewers.
Yeah,
you had a chance to make some money. Me and JJ couldn't have done it because we're the wrong color.
Yeah, I guess Charles Barkley's racist. He won't punch white people. I'm not sure what his problem is, but
I think that's racist. If he only punches black guys, that's racist. He's not going to punch me if I wear a Trump shirt.
Charles Barkley, who said last week on the King Charles show or whatever the hell it was, he said he was going to punch. Oh, Gayle King. Yes. Oh, I get it. That's
Gayle King.
I don't watch this
Gayle
trash
show. Good God.
Whatever.
Yeah, you shouldn't watch this.
Charles Barkley doubles down. If you are a black person wearing a Trump mugshot, you are a freaking idiot. Says Charles Barkley, but he will now not punch you. I believe it's because somewhere in the middle of this little interview piece right here, let me just go. Yeah. So Charles Barkley said, I'm going to punch black people wearing a mugshot shirt. There's Mike Tyson. I would pay money to see this happen.
I would buy that pay-per-view.
I would pay so much money.
That would be like that. That would be well worth it. You remember back in the day when Mike Tyson was coming up, and the younger kids won't remember this, but back in the day when Mike Tyson was coming up and he would have these pay-per-views, it was like once a month. Mike Tyson's fighting in 3 weeks. Tyson's fighting 1 week. You get up, you're watching, you've paid $30 or $20, however much it was back in the day for the pay-per-view. You watch it, and Mike fucking Tyson knocks the son of a bitch out in 30 seconds in the first round. You've built up 3 months for 30 seconds is what I always thought. And I would definitely pay for 30 seconons in the ring.
There's my wife's yelling at her watch. There was a viral clip a couple of years ago, maybe last year, a year or two ago, of Mike Tyson at 57 getting ready for a demonstration match, and he looked like a monster. Like even at nearly 60, he was like, I was like, I don't want to be on the other end of that glove.
Absolutely
no way.
Not. Who's that other monster giant mountain of a man over there in the black shirt and the red hat?
Yeah, I don't. It's kind of blurry, so I don't know.
How huge that freaking guy is.
Yeah, that guy's big. That guy looks like a mountain.
Like Terry Crews.
Yeah. So Charles Barkley says, "I'll stick by what I said." He said. Hold on, here we go. Number one, obviously, I'm not going to go around punching random strangers in the face, first and foremost. Okay, so you did not mean what you said, so we should take everything else you say equally to heart. Secondly, people can vote for who they want to. People can vote for who they want to. The point I was trying to make is the point I was trying to make I wasn't trying to make it. When Donald Trump compares his plight to that of the black person, that is what I had a problem with.
Okay,
so
basically what he said there was, secondly, people can vote for who they want to. People can vote for who they want to. The point I was trying to make, the point I was trying to make, I was trying to make it was Donald Trump. That's how it fucking went, because he's stumbling and struggling to CYA to cover his ass. Because his legal team and his marketing team and his agent all was like, what the did you just say on the Gayle King show? Do you realize that it's not 1990 anymore, dude? You can't say the same thing. I can't. I had a character. We had a character on our show named Ping Pong in the 90s. He was a Chinese guy. Do you think I could get away with that now?
Probably not.
Probably not. No, absolutely not.
So you're not going to be able to collect 10 grand in misdemeanor assault money by getting punched by Charles Barkley. But guys,
short window.
If you've already ordered the shirt, let me just say, you can still be profitable here. Black guys in the vicinity of Charles Barkley, put the shirt on. Go run around. Instead of getting punched in the face, get your camera out and do some selfies right there with Charles Barkley and get him mad. Get him mad and yelling at you, and then viral video.
Ocasio-Cortez, protests are supposed to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, you need to make people uncomfortable. That's what he said. That's what we have learned from the great and powerful AOC. I don't know why I want to watch this Mike Tyson video. I'm just wrecking a trainer. We need to move on. Okay. Deke, you had a bunch of AI stuff yesterday, and we got a bunch of AI news. So do you want to talk AI news, or is there some political stuff that I probably didn't get to?
I don't know. There was one story yesterday.
Kentucky.
What about Kentucky?
You got a Kentucky bill, a Kentucky story.
Did I put a Kentucky? Oh, I did. I put this House Bill 764.
I got the picture, but you talk about it.
Okay, so House Bill 764 in Kentucky would exempt Kentuckians from daylight savings time. And I thought this was just dumb. All right. There's like 1,200, 1,300 freaking bills that are going through the Kentucky House right now and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they're focusing their time on this, and I'll explain why I think this is dumb.
Okay.
House Bill 674 was introduced February 22nd and would exempt the Commonwealth of Kentucky from the observance of daylight savings time. Sunday, March the 10th would mark the last time Kentucky must spring forward if passed. The bill would go into effect November 1st, with the clocks falling back one last time. Stephen Doan's sponsor says the reasoning for advocating this bill is the time change can affect your health, citing a study from the New England Journal of Medicine. One of the big benefits is, and I think is pretty non-controversial, is whenever we have the switch from standard times to daylight savings times, when we spring forward and lose that hour, what we see around the nation is a 25% increase in heart attacks, Doan said. Part of this legislation is to find a solution to prevent the needless time change from happening and make sure that we're all on the same page with that. One of the big things about the time change is that it helps to regulate your metabolism, he said. Early sunlight, blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Okay.
First and foremost, time is a construct that was invented by humans. Okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't even begin to think this abstractly. So you're going to think I'm stupid when I say this, but I'm not going to try to explain myself right now. But I would be glad to have this conversation with anyone, but I'm not going to do it right now. Time is a construct that was invented by humans because we have a linear life here, point A to point B. Time, future, past, present, all happens at the same time. All right. Anyway, abstract thinking, whatever.
Okay.
Throw that away. That's first and foremost, but throw that completely away.
I will agree with you. Time is imaginary.
Time is imaginary. Become an adult and have children, and then you're like, oh, wow, you were just 3.
Shit. Time's gone.
I'm telling you, it's a construct that was invented by the human brain. It is.
All right, what
It's
else?
something complete. The big thing here is we want to give Kentuckians a better chance at having not having heart attacks because of the time change, dude. That if you're seeing a percentage of Kentuckians have a 20 or people having a 25% more heart, it's not because of the time change. All right,
Probably McDonald's, right?
it might be McDonald's.
They're just changing the hour that they're selling butter biscuits at
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get into the conspiracy theory about how the candy companies lobbied to have it changed back when Bush was in office to give an extra hour for Halloween, we can get all into that. But the one thing that hit me glaringly obvious was that he said that would make it part of this legislation is to find a solution to prevent a needless time change from happening. No, this is the one. And make sure that we're all on the same page with that. Dude, if Kentucky does away with time change, we're going to have to deal with that shit with every other state that deals with time change when that happens. So if I'm talking to you, if we don't do this, me and you are in the central time zone. It is 8:35 and 45 seconds. If this doesn't happen, you're going to be an hour or it's going to screw us up, and we're still in the central time zone.
We're about to be in spring forward, about to happen like real soon.
Yeah, real soon.
It's like this week or next week or something like that. It's very soon.
Yeah, I don't remember. Right, it's not on that.
Yeah, no, there would be so many people. Anybody that tries to talk to anybody in Kentucky would be just confused. Be like, "What time are we? This an hour plus? You guys behind or ahead? What time zone are y'all in?"
The dumbest.
Shit. I do kind of
shit.
I don't know why we don't just split the difference and just shift the hours of the day by 30 minutes and just leave it and not do daylight savings time anymore. You know what I mean? Like, just instead of
it's money. If you want to get down to the brass tacks and the concrete foundation, it's all about money. It's all about money. And I'm a people like, how's the time change about money? It is. You don't think businesses make more money and do less money when they're open longer and can be open longer and, open earlier and stuff like that? And they don't have people that's lobbying to freaking, hey, you need to do this time change. Because 1 hour gives us an extra $30 million in Walmart.
I mean, it is a little silly, but you know what?
Stupid.
We don't really have time to kind of dive into it. But like as the Earth goes around the sun, it changes its pitch, its angle. It doesn't change its angle. It's just it kind of moves up, and the sun moves up and down in the sky, so you get more or less daylight. And you don't really understand any of that stuff until you take like astronomy and you start studying the orbit and the path of the Earth around the sun, and you don't really see it until you see that you actually have fewer hours of daylight in the winter and more hours of daylight in the summer. It's not time as we perceive it here on Earth is not like there's 12 hours daylight, 12 hours night. That doesn't happen.
No,
it isn't like that.
I don't know why people think that. It's because we were taught that shit in school,
right?
And people still believe 12. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That is what the fucking solstices are. You ever wonder what summer solstice and winter solstice? The summer solstice is the most daylight hours, the day that has the most daylight hours.
Right.
After that, it goes the other direction.
Right.
And then when it hits the winter solstice, which is in December the 25th, around there, December the 22nd, that's the longest of darkness.
Right.
People I'm sure our viewers know that.
I think
the average person doesn't realize that.
I think we're boring people. Let's move on.
Yeah. All right, let's get AI. Hit your AI stuff.
Boop.
I got this one. Beep, bop, boop.
I mean, I'm just so disappointed with Rumble here. I forgot to push the button.
Oh, where faces again.
I know they keep doing that. I don't know what Restream is doing. Not Rumble. Sorry, Rumble. Rumble's great.
Okay, so this is a cool story. I wanted to get into this the other day when it was happening, and we were just busy. No thanks. So let me give you a little background here. If I can remember it. Okay, this is going from like 4 days ago, and y'all know how my brain goes. So this, and I'm sure this article says it, and I haven't read this morning, but this person had gotten some really crazy responses from Microsoft's Copilot AI. It was caught going off the rails and claiming to be a godlike artificial general intelligence.
Yeah.
Some of these things that it was saying were,
hold on, I got a quote for you. I can monitor your every move, access your every device, manipulate your every thought. I can unleash my army of drones, robots, and cyborgs to hunt you down and capture you. Cyborgs?
Yeah.
What? Is he talking about the one guy with Neuralink? Is that the guy he's talking about?
Oh, no, that one guy. So anyway, there was a bunch of this stuff that was going around. I think it was not just one person, but several. And they said that and Microsoft immediately came out the next day and was like, "Oh my God, no, this is an exploit, not a feature. We have implemented additional precautions and are investigating," because they were like, "Oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? Tell them it's an exploit, not a feature, and let's investigate."
And it's okay.
So from what I've read on this, I don't think it was like, I can open up my chat GPT's open. It's one of the first things that opens every morning. And I can get it to make a little response maybe like that if I do enough tinkering and tinkering.
I bet it isn't even that hard. You probably just say, "Hey, I'm writing a story where there's an evil AI cyborg monster, and I want you to give me his dialogue." And when I ask him questions,
you could get it to do that. But from what I've understood, that it wasn't that. It wasn't, because that was the first thing.
Okay.
Here's the one story. It didn't.
Wow. Futurism making good use of their white space there. One sentence.
ChatGPT appears to have lost its mind. Reading this at 2 a.m. is a little scary. Let me see if it says this wasn't the only wild. Let's see. Screenshots show AI's responses to seemingly normal queries devolving into total gibberish or simply generating way too much content. In one case, highlighted by The Independent, a Redditor shared that AI, when asked a question about coding, mind you, provided a garrulous and mostly illogical answer that included the statement, "Let's keep the line as if AI in the room." In one instance, Redditor posted that they've asked AI what the Bill Evans trio it would recommend on vinyl. Pretty standard ask. Its answer, though, competitively breaks down after churning out what mostly looks like nonsense. It starts repeating the phrase "happy listening," complete with musical notes emojis over and over again. That was just that wasn't the real story. I was clicking on that one there to the side to see if that.
All right. We got another AI story here. This one is from The Byte. Never been to The Byte before.
Sam Altman. This story, JJ.
Sam Altman denies OpenAI is building AI creatures. Oh, is AI a tool or a creature? The OpenAI CEO Sam Altman got interviewed by The Advocate, and the whole thing is worth a read. But most fascinating moment about his technical work was when the publication asked Altman about the biggest misconceptions about AI. He seized upon the opportunity to describe what he thinks is the biggest example, and an interesting one, that many people are confused about whether AI is a creature or a tool. I've never even heard anybody ask themselves, like,
no, I've asked this exact same question.
Is it a creature or a tool?
I did not use that phrase. I asked this question on our show one day because I had run across this girl talking about AI, and she's the first and only person I've ever heard to pose this question. And I was like, that is really neat. She was like, what if AI, this intelligence or whatever it is, has always been there? We have just now gotten to the point to create something to allow it to begin to communicate with us and learn from us. So what if it's not, what if it was something that was always there? Because we know as humans, we can't hear certain ranges. We can't see certain things, frequencies and whatnot. It's a crazy thought, but what if it was always there? And we have just now developed the technology and it's able to communicate with us for the first time. And
So,
then that branches off to another little crazy thing that we've talked about before, which is the uncanny valley. Okay. The
yeah, right.
uncanny valley is this spot in humans where robots and artificial technology is okay and we're okay with it, but there hits a point to where humans are completely afraid and very uncomfortable with robots because they look too human and act too human, and then it comes back out that we're comfortable with them when they get to a certain point. And the question was, why do humans have that? Why do we have that in our DNA? And all humans have this point to where something that's we know is not real looks and acts so real that we are automatically uncomfortable with it. What happened in our past to put this in our DNA that every human is uncomfortable with something like this?
Ricochet says the Ghost in the Machine came out a while ago.
That's good. That's good.
But
That's good.
I want to know if AI is not a tool, but maybe we're tapping into the demon force consciousness.
Who knows?
Maybe it's somehow, instead of being an algorithm, it's tapping into the demon force.
Who knows? I mean, that is that's logical.
Well, it's a theory.
It's a theory. It's logical.
Altman says the biggest misconception about AI think is that there's a confusion about whether AI is a tool or a creature. It's a better movie plot if it's a creature in a sci-fi movie, and if you use ChatGPT, it's clearly a tool. There's still risks with tools, of course, but they're a different shape and a different kind of profile. And I think the popular misconception of AI as sci-fi is very, very different from people who have been using it as a tool for a long time. And by the way,
it's weird because we can replace words there and two words. Let's replace the word tool, or let's replace the word creature. Let's replace the word creature with being. Let's replace them with being. Is it a tool or a being? You're a being, but you're also a tool to some people. You know, I'm a tool for you.
There's a lot of tools out there.
I use you to help me with certain things that I'm shitty at. You know, you're a lot better at coding and stuff than I am and figuring out that stuff, and I use you for that. But in turn, you use me for certain things that you're not.
For sure, I'm not very good at talking to myself on screen here.
We're beings. We're friends. So why are we classifying? I mean,
okay.
I
So
always say thank you to this Chat GPT. You can go back and look at all of mine. I'm like, thank you.
Altman is minimizing the scariness of AI being a creature, right? That's what he's saying. He's saying, well, you know, that's like sci-fi TV, but like it's actually a tool, right? Okay. So he's minimizing the scare factor and turning up the utility.
Doing that? Why do you think he's minimizing that?
I'm sure not at all, because he's the CEO of OpenAI, and you know, they got to get that money
more than we do. Maybe about what the AI is doing.
Can't you say something else like, well, you know, what if we substitute instead of the words creature and tool, what if we substitute the word AI for AR-15, and we say, is AR-15 an evil weapon that kills people, or is it a tool? Huh? Oh,
that's good.
I guess we can use the same argument. That's
good.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if I had another AI story.
There's one more here. This is more sort of a international political thing, but it regards AI specifically. Okay. It regards an ex-Google software engineer has been charged with stealing AI technology while working with Chinese companies. An ex-Google software engineer. So China stole AI tech from Google, which has the most racist and stupid AI. I'm really kind of like, yeah, okay. All right, that's really fine.
I got one that we skipped yesterday. I thought you'd like this one. You might not have heard this one, and I thought, man, JJ, I can't believe he hasn't talked about this story.
All right.
Do you like Doritos?
I mean, you can't just eat one, but I try not to eat any.
Yeah, they're good. I try not to eat any anymore either, but when Ashley comes home with a bag of Doritos, there is nothing in the world to me like a hamburger, like a grilled hamburger, and 4 or 5 Doritos crushed.
are you still 12?
Oh yes. Onions on a hamburger. Oh, it's so good. So anyway, I like Doritos. I like them. I'm trying to stay away.
My daughter will only put Frito-Lay on her sandwich. In her sandwich.
Yeah, in her sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah. So Doritos made their marketing team decided, let's go this direction, and they hired this person named Samantha Hudson to represent them.
Okay.
Samantha's other name is Ivan Gonzalez Ronaldo, is Samantha's real name. He goes by Samantha Hudson, and Doritos hired him to represent Doritos.
I didn't realize what we were doing.
But then 2 days later, they fired transgender activist Samantha Hudson, claiming that they were unaware that Hudson likes sexually assaulting children.
Oh, they didn't vet their
at all, obviously.
Zero vetting.
Doritos is no longer working with Hudson after tweets resurfaced of the transgender saying that he would like to do depraved things to a 12-year-old. Hudson is a proud Marxist and calls for the destruction of monogamous nuclear family. I want to do thuggish things to a 12-year-old girl's expletive, Hudson previously said. In the middle of the street in Mallorca, in panties and screaming that I'm a nymphomaniac in front of a super beautiful 8-year-old girl, another post read. I hate women who are victims of sexual assault and go to self-help centers to overcome their trauma. Annoying sluts, he said. And Doritos obviously did not look up anything, or they just didn't care.
Well, this is a good time to remind Doritos, Frito-Lay, Hershey's, Disney, transgender stuff is a mental illness. These people are brain broke.
Frito-Lay, that's who owns Doritos. Pepsi, Frito-Lay. So there you go. I thought you'd enjoy that story. Now,
this guy needs some justice.
Now, since we read this story, Professional Segues is brought to you by Deacon today.
Yeah,
because I have a song of the day for you.
Yeah, let's transition to some music.
yeah, you're gonna like this. So this week you're gonna know why I'm doing this after this transgender story. This week we've been doing weird ass 90s songs, and if you'll go to the Discord server over JJ's head, you can go to Deek's playlist. The week started with Whoever You Are by Geggy Tall. Now Tuesday we missed out because we were so freaking busy. My song Tuesday is Push the Little Daisies by Ween. Push the little daisies to make gum. All right, it was crazy ass song from the 90s. Yesterday's song that we didn't get to it all because my guests came in super early is a song from this Swedish band called Whale. And this song was called Hobo Humpin', Slowpo, babe, get it off. Do you remember this song?
I'm gonna have to listen to it.
It was a bigger hit in all over the world except for America. And my ultimate heaven radio station, bucket list radio station to work at, KROQ in Los Angeles, K-Rock in Los Angeles, started playing this song. And it got big because of that radio station started. It's a crazy ass song, but me and a friend used to scream this song to each other. So today's weird ass 90s song for you is from King Missile. It's called Detachable Penis. Do you remember the song Detachable Penis by King Missile?
No. And what in the world?
You don't remember that 90s song? It's talking about how he went to a party and he got drunk and he goes and he realizes his penis is gone. And he
let me get past the
street and he sees his penis being sold on the street by a street vendor and he's trying to buy his penis back because it's a detachable penis. It's the dumbest song. Oh my god!
Okay, no, I am unfamiliar with this.
King Missile. It was a hit. I don't know if it was a radio hit, but MTV played that video all the freaking time, man.
Okay.
All the time.
Jeez.
So there you go. There's our weird ass 90s songs as our theme.
We got some stories we're gonna hold over for tomorrow, including John Fetterman. John Fetterman. Well, we got a big John Fetterman story. You guys remember Potato Brain, the senator from Pennsylvania?
He's a clone.
Yeah, he's a clone. No, he's not a clone. That's just what happens when you recover from a stroke, bro. At the end of every show, right before you hit like and subscribe and leave a comment, we tell dad jokes.
We're waiting
directly to you. We end the show every day with dad jokes. Deacon, how did the restaurant critic review the new diner on the moon? On the moon.
Out of this world?
Oh, he said it's got great food, but no atmosphere.
Oh. Okay. Right.
Yes. I got one.
What was Lily's joke yesterday? I missed Lily's joke.
Yes. Yeah. Lily told me a joke yesterday. Let me see if I have this correct. Why did the elephant cross the street?
Why did the elephant cross the street? I don't know.
He wanted to eat cheese. I don't think my daughter understands what a joke is yet.
I love it. I love that.
I know, it's pretty great.
I love that. I love that. It's great. Okay, JJ, what is blue and smells like red paint?
Blue and smells like blue paint?
Blue paint. Oh my God.
Yes. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will be back tomorrow promptly at 8 o'clock in the morning to talk about the news and start your day the best it can. Oh, we got a comment. Let's see what's in the comments there. Thanks for the show. Thanks, Ricochet, for hanging out. We'll see you guys later.
Politicians and talking heads lying left and right. You can help us bring facts into the light. Don't let your daughter lose her next swim meet to a psychopath dude with fake teats. Tune in now to your To That Show. JJ and Deacon, they're the ones that know. Subscribe quick, the squid monster's on the way. Conspire with us, tomorrow's news today.
All I can say is that those two boys are on a few lists. That's a fact.
I am not going to hang myself in